what was your ambition for this? What turns into a first-person shooter? Where do you put your ceiling? Because the sky is the limit here. You can go
Um,
anywhere.
yeah. Well, you put your ceiling in terms of budget and time.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I liked Stargate as a game was obviously as a television show with a production budget and locations, you can only go to the Canadian forest so many times. That there's only so many different ways you can make that look on a budget each year. In a video game, we can create a level where we can go anywhere. So we can have lots of different types of environments. And that was one thing that I was really excited to do. The Stargate as a storytelling device enables you to go anywhere. So we wanted to see those other places. We wanted to see those other visuals, I should say. Not so much the other places, because Stargate did that, the show did that. But we wanted to see these other visuals.
Was there kind of a push-pull continuum going on in terms of acknowledging what came before and wanting to create something completely new? Because from what I have seen of the game, there's a lot of material that is re-examined in the game from the series. Langara, you've got Tartarus, you've got these already established locations. How much of that did you want to have pre-existing to the canon, and how much did you want to of that? What like percentage did you want to introduce total new stuff to the canon?
We wanted a story as fans, and I mentioned before, I preferred stories that continue and build over time. And so we tied into those elements of SG-1. So things like the ancients, what Anubis was doing, all of those things were elements that were building over the last couple of years through the show. At the start of the game, we know that Anubis is kind of struggling a little bit with the replicators, which is he actually unbottles,
He releases the
the
Hawken.
Harken.
Anubis was a fool to free us for certain, but only because he did not understand our true power. Anubis granted us the path to our freedom, and for that I take some small remorse in destroying his forces. Some small remorse.
He takes a gamble, so he knows they're very strong. He knows that the concept of the game is Anubis is searching for something, and so SG-1 is like, well, if Anubis is searching for this, then we need to find out what this is. And essentially, what we find out is that Anubis has unlocked or begun to unlock the Harken because he's losing, and he doesn't have the ability to lock them up again. He's searching for an artifact that the ancients split into three pieces because they took a view that back in the day they took action, they intervened, and this was not a good decision, and so they split this technology up so that they couldn't do it again. And Anubis is searching for that technology, and that's what happens throughout the game. Anubis and SG-1 are searching for searching for the pieces of the artifact of this ancient technology. And so he's taken a gamble that he can find pieces of the artifact before the Harken become too powerful and get rid of him. Because the Harken kind of view everyone as just chattel. They're not a concern. And in terms of if they were to get to full strength, they're genuinely not a concern. So they were a step above the power that we'd seen throughout the Stargate and could threaten the ancients as well. This is also why we had to contain them by the end of the episode, by the end of the end of the game. And the game is kind of like a season of the show. So each mission would have been an episode of a TV show. You know, you go to a different world, you have something you've got to work out, you uncover it, you come back. So it played out like that.
It makes a lot of sense to approach it that way. So this would have been a while that this would have taken place. So it would have probably concluded around the time before Threads, then just been running parallel to the missions that we saw playing out on screen.
I mean, from memory, yes.
Okay.
And that's why we had Peter on board. So Peter was able to give us a bit of advanced, this is what we're doing down the track. And we read some early scripts, maybe from threads, to sort of see where things landed so we could kind of match them up. Again, being massive Stargate fans, we're like, well, we can't just have anyone come in to do the voices, So we had all of the main cast, as much of the supporting cast as we could get in. We had Peter direct the voiceover sessions. We did facial mapping for SG-1. So you play as Jack or you play as Samantha. It looked like them. So the game basically took place through missions with the four of you. SG-1 go on missions. And based on the mission, you would play as a different key character. So if you played as Jack, they all had different abilities, because in a game, we want to try and mix up the gameplay a little bit. And SG-1 do bring different things to the TV show and their missions and their different skill sets. We needed to enhance that for the game. So Jack had a sniper ability, so we used that in different missions that tied into the storyline for that mission. As things developed, Sam was able to use the ribbon device. So she uses the ribbon device at some point.
All right. That was
Jack
never utilized. Except once.
No, it was never utilized.
Seth, and that's it.
So we kind of, and again, we still respected the reasons those things happened. So we didn't just go, it's a free-for-all. We still respected those storyline limitations of those different technologies. Except for one thing. We basically said that this artifact that came back, this ancient technology that came back, this kind of unlocked a little bit of remnant ancient from Daniel. So he was ascended, he came back, and he's exposed to this ancient technology, and it gives him some abilities. So he had some weapon stuff that was not so much an offensive weapon, but it would cause problems. It was an ancient light. He developed things where he could see through walls. And it sounds a bit silly now, but the way it was presented, it looked so he could see through. He could see through things, and he had, from a storyline perspective, he had a sense of any connection to ancient side of things. So the Harken for him were a problem. Right? And then Teal'c had melee abilities that we didn't really see much. I mean, we saw it in the show, but that was his specialty. And then if you're playing as Jack, for example, you can order the other three to go and do certain things. Again, you could do this in a game. So we used to shoot missiles through the Stargate. So there was one mission where they needed some supporting fire. So they were able to paint targets on their side, and missiles would come through from the gate.
We have a lock, SG-1. Firing.
So there's things that you couldn't do in the TV show from a budget perspective all the time, but we could do that sort of stuff. And so we took advantage of it. When SGC gets overrun, it's a key story point. It's an intense time in the story, but let's be honest, running around the SGC shooting stuff, that's fans would like to do that. Like, I think that's a pretty so it's overrun by it's got Gould in it, it's got Cull Warriors, they're on a mission, you're against the clock. The self-destruct is set.
Ooh.
There's another element in there story wise. There's a traitor in the midst, let's say.
Okay.
And they realize partway through that mission what has occurred. So essentially what happens is they have stolen back one of the pieces of the artifact from Anubis. So SG-1 technically kind of lose this. Anubis has two pieces of the artifact. They have one. They take it back, so they think they're in more control again. But what they realize is that the artifact that they've stolen back, Daniel doesn't quite have the same connection to it.
Oh.
And he can't work out why. Because he has a connection to these pieces of the artifact because they are ancient technology. But the way they retrieve the artifact, it's all very last minute in the heat of battle, blah, blah, blah. They get back, and before they can work out, well, before Daniel can really kind of assess what's going on with this thing, they realize that it's a decoy and it blocks the closing of the iris.
So they can't shut it.
They can't shut the iris. So they're and Anubis has to get the piece of the artifact that we do actually have.
So he can't just blow us up.
He can't just blow you up.
Yeah.
Because if he blows you up, he doesn't get control of the artifact. He can't bottle up the Harkin, and they will wipe him out. Right. So Anubis really is taking a big gamble with this, which highlights the desperation he's in from things that are set up through the TV show. You know, when our story takes place. So he can't just blow it up. So he has to send the Cull Warriors through. They're overrunning and there's a Cull disruptor as well. So just prior to this, we've been to one of Anubis's bases and we've found some things. We've gone to a Tok'ra base, I think, before this as well. So we had the whole crystals thing, the crystals, they put the crystals in the wall, the caves open, the case. We did all that stuff in gameplay.
Wow.
That was very cool. But so in there, they discover a sort of Cull disruptor. They all do the leapfrog, the Cull disruptor destroys the Cull Warriors and then they overcome it, and then they create a more powerful one and then they overcome it. So they had a new version in there, but it wasn't working. So they don't really have a defense against the Cull super soldiers. So they're just mowing everyone down. But the reality is, if Anubis gets away with the artifact, he's going to control everything. So they are up against it in terms of the self-destruct, because they're like, well, if we can't stop this within a certain amount of time, we're just going to blow the thing up. They can't shut the iris, and they can't stop the self-destruct unless they can shut the iris and deal with all the Cull Warriors in the SGC. So that mission was very cool, both from a gameplay perspective in terms of running around the SGC, shooting stuff up, and a storyline perspective, because spoiler, they lose.
Got one. Colonel Carter.
Target that Jafar!
Nice shot. Ready? Shot. Enemy down.
Focus on the Jaffa until we get some disruption.
Fire on my target!
Thanks for watching this clip from Dial the Gate. You can find the full live stream shows on our YouTube channel or visit dialthegate.com for the complete schedule. See you on the other side.